Hey guys, and welcome to today's first impressions video, the video game series in which we look at a recently released game and I give you my first thoughts and impressions on it. Today we are very fortunate to be looking at V Rising, which came out last week, so I am a little late to the party, but so far I've been pretty impressed. As always, we'll look at the options first, then I want to look at some customization if I'm able to now that I've already started the game. And then I want to go into the actual gameplay itself and give you my first thoughts and impressions of what I've experienced so far. So let's not waste any more time. Let's jump straight into it, shall we? Alright, so the options mode, and it is very, very robust. I'm very happy about this. You have a lot of general interface and heads-up display options available. You can choose to skip the intro cinematic once you've watched it once. You can allow friends joining through Steam. You can have Steam rich presence enabled. I don't actually know what that is. You can have crossplay. And then this is really cool. You've got streamer mode because obviously this game has taken off quite a bit with the streamer community. You've got show global chat. You've got minimap rotation, chat size, show chat timestamps, which is really nice. Toggle equip mode. And I want my data to be used for analytics and help data for V Rising if you so desire. It's really kind of cool. Then you've also got your controls, which can be rebound. You might want to, honestly. Some of the buttons are a bit out of the way when you're trying to do things quickly. And I'll explain one of the biggest sort of gripes I've got with the game so far, which is the camera movement when we get into the actual game itself. Graphic options. There's quite a few here. Again, very nice to see. You've got your main quality preset, you've got your display, your windowed mode, and it does start in a full screen windowed, which is really nice. Brightness level, then you've got your main quality options here, and then you've got your advanced. So this is where you find your VSync. There isn't actually an FPS bar, so you've got VSync on or off, and that is the only way you can sort of control the FPS there. I'm assuming that's probably because this has got consoles in mind as well. Motion blur on or off, depth of field, low quality atmosphere, blood effects enabled if you so desire. Screen shake isn't actually too bad at all. Cloth quality and your cloth update ray. Now, AMD FSR 1.0 is on ultra quality here. This is the only thing that looks like it goes beyond high. And then you've got your sound. You can just disable all sounds completely. You can disable music. You can have mono sound. You can just have sound in background or off, which is really nice, especially if you're running full screen windowed and you want to like alt tab out the game. The worst thing in the world is when you alt tab out of a game, especially on stream, and the music and all the sounds stop. So I like the fact they've added this as an option. It does start things on master maximum, but that's not actually that bad. It doesn't blow your ears out, but worth looking at if you want to change it there. You've got voice chat options here, so you can auto join voice chat, you can use voice chat, you can not use voice chat, you can have it on push to talk, and then you've got your sound card, which is just whatever it chooses at random. That's really cool. That's a very robust sound options, which you don't really see a lot of, and it's nice that because this is obviously a lot of co-op and PvP, that you can choose to not have chat joined as default, because as a streamer we have all had those options where we've joined a chat or joined a game and just profanity and offensiveness blasted through you from the get-go. So being able to turn that off is a nice option. Really impressed with this options menu. Let's see if we can't create a character, and I will show all the customization there, and then we'll jump into the game. Alright, the customization screen. Now, unfortunately to do this, you have to leave whatever game you're in and find a new server. It's a bit of a shame that they don't have just a straight up customization screen. That would be something really cool to add, because I feel that they could really monetize on this if they really genuinely truly wanted to, where you could have different costumes and different, you know, looks and stuff that you could have. Can't believe I'm advocating for that, but I genuinely feel that that could be something they could do, so you can just have a specific character every time. Now you can lock in these, which basically does the same thing, but still I feel like having to do it every time, or the only way you can do it is by joining a new server if you've already made a character, is a bit of a negative for me personally. That's very subjective. But that aside, what can you change? So you can change the skin tone, and as you can see, there are a lot of different colors and shades that you can choose from, which is kind of awesome. You've got 13 faces to choose from, which is kind of cool. We're a fan of that. You can change the eye color as well, so you can make them glow a different color. You can have 27 different hairstyles, so there is a lot of customization in this. Then you can change the hair color as well from the same palette, which does scroll all the way down as well. So there is a lot of customization here. You've got 5 different features to choose from. Now, it is worth noting that depending on the type of face you choose, having like a lot of facial hair or whatever is gonna affect how that character looks quite a bit. And you might find that certain faces don't really work with the features because it kind of hides the face in the forefront, so it's worth bearing that in mind. And then again, further to that is accessories, so you can have different ears, you can have them wearing glasses and stuff, and then you can change the name of the character as well. Again, it is important to note that when you're playing the game, you will wear different armor and stuff, so your appearance is going to change. But I feel like maybe a few different starting outfits probably wouldn't be the worst, just for that customization feel. Let's jump into the game and see what the game actually plays like. Okay, here we are. We are in the game. Now, we're on a PvE server. I've not played a PvP server yet. I don't dare do it. It is terrifying. But so far, as a PvE server, there doesn't seem to be a clear objective. You've got like your little objectives in the top left-hand side, which is basically to equip your character and keep improving your character as you go. The overarching sort of what am I doing here is kind of prevalent though, because there's no overarching main quest. Now, one of the biggest issues I do have with this game is the camera movement and movement in general. It gives me feels of using a mouse to move, right? It gives me that top-down sort of MOBA style movement, yet that's not how you move. The way you move is by using your WS and D keys and then rotating the camera with your right mouse button, which is more than a little bit finicky. It's not ideal. Once you've done the quest, though, you claim it and you will then get your next quest, and that is how you will go. So very early on, you're going to have to get very used to dodging attacks because you take a lot of damage and you will die if you're not careful. And it doesn't actually explain about the bloodletting and healing and stuff until very later on in the game. It's more bothered about trying to get you to farm stuff to make gear than it is to teach you survivability. And it just feels like the direction there for the tutorial could be maybe done a little bit better. Maybe teaching you about healing and using blood and how the blood works before you die like 3 or 4 times like I did, or get used to moving out the way. The archers are going to be your biggest problem early game. But once you've worked out the general attack sort of movements and stuff that each enemy has, you're going to be okay. Which brings me into my next problem. The combat is... The combat's not great. It's very simplistic. It's, you know, just use your left mouse button and then you've got like a special, which is your R, and then you've got like a counter for C and stuff. It's very, very basic. Like, it kind of works with the type of game that it is, but I do kind of wish there was a bit more. And again, if for example you change the movement to be move with your mouse and just click on where you want it to go, and then using skills and abilities, for example using your Q, W, E, and R keys like traditional MOBAs, I feel like it would feel a bit more fluid, maybe a little bit easier as well, and just improve the new player experience as a result. Now, it is important to note that there is sort of like a Dark Souls-esque vibe to it, where if you die, you don't necessarily lose your loot, but you will have to start from the last sort of checkpoint that you found. And then when you find your loot again, you are able to, you'll be able to collect it all. Now, there is crafting in the game, as you can see. It will tell you the resources you need and how many you've got. Again, another sort of gripe, if you like, is maybe just an inventory quick slot or something down here to show the resources that you've got, right? So you've got these buttons here which show you the things that you need to do. Maybe just another line here of all the resources you've got and how many of them you actually have to allow you to keep tabs of it, as opposed to having to constantly click on crafting and then look at the items that you've actually got available to you. Honestly, I just feel like that would probably be an easier and better way of doing it. But that's basically the game. You go through, you kill the enemies, you collect resources, everything is destroyable, which is nice. The actual overarching sort of theme of the world and the maps and the different areas that you can go to are very pretty in a very creepy sort of way. They very much suit the aesthetic. And overall, I do like it. Like, as PvE goes, it's simplistic but still enjoyable. There are a few things that I feel that they could certainly add to improve the overall feel of the game and just to make it run a bit smoother. Obviously, the movement is kind of set in stone. They're probably not going to be changing that anytime soon. You're just going to have to sort of get used to it, which is fair. Also, the way that you seem to level up in the game and gain more health and stuff is by equipping stuff. Which again, I don't know. It kind of goes against it because I'm so used to level-based things. I'm not opposed to the gear level. Like, it makes sense, you know, if you're going through and you're equipping new items and things, then you're going to get stronger. So not necessarily level based as such, but still, it's not a bad system. Overall, I like it. I can see why a lot of people like it. I am probably going to continue playing this just for the sake of the fact that it is actually very enjoyable. There is a sharp learning curve though. It took me a few tries to get used to how everything worked. But overall, very, very impressed. There are world bosses as well when you go into certain areas that you're going to require other people to play with, right? You're going to be able to get so far and do so much on your own, and you're going to be able to enjoy the world and stuff, but you are going to come across areas where, unless you've got 2 or 3 people, you're not going to be able to get past them or beat the bosses in question. So it is very much worth bearing that in mind. But there you are then. I'm going to go and continue playing this because I'm having a lot of fun. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you all next time. And let me know what you think. Let me know if you agree with my comments or disagree. I'd love to hear your opinions. And I shall see you all next time. Thank you very much for watching, guys. Ciao, ciao.